Yo, what's good? It's your boy Super SANHII, the greatest, the one and only, you feel me? And today I want to talk to you niggas about how I just saw Shawn Porter do what he had to do. He was facing off against a guy named Sebastian. Oh shit. Hold up. What the fuck is it? Sebastian Formella? Nah. Let me hold up. Let me not be unprepared like this. What's this nigga name? Sebastian. Yeah, Formella. Okay, bet. That nigga's German. Okay, but yeah, bro. I just saw this nigga, bro. This nigga, he beat the shit out of this nigga, bro. That shit was. I can't say, bro. It's like I don't want to say it was one of the worst ass whoopings in boxing history. Cause it was bad. It was bad. My favorite points in the fight, I'm not sure if I can show them or not. My favorite points in the fight were, it was in the third round. Fuck, what point was it? I don't remember if it was like a minute in or a minute left. What he did was, Shawn Porter threw I think it was a jab to the torso. I'm not sure if it was to the head or not. He threw a jab to the body, I think. Came back with the right hook or straight. The way he was throwing it, I couldn't really tell. I'll have to look at the video again. He threw that shit. My fault. I just had some spaghetti. He threw a jab to the body. Came back with the right hook to the body. Then he threw the left hook. He stopped. Then he pivoted to the left side of Formella. Then he came back with a right hand up top. Shit was beautiful. Shit was beautiful. And in the seventh round, like later on in the fight, he was just hammering this nigga with uppercuts. But I believe it was in the seventh round, bro. He was doing this nigga dirty with the fucking uppercut. The aggression he showed was perfect. He was moving in and out of the way, slipping punches. It was just nasty. It looked very good. Some of the things that I saw him doing. His stance at times reminded me of Pretty Boy Floyd's. The way that Floyd would keep his guard like close. The right hand would be like tucked away or across the body, and he would like rock side to side or lean. Like if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And the way that he was pivoting also reminded me of Tyson. I think even the commentators were picking up on that shit, and it was just like. That's like, could I say, what do they call that? What do they call that shit? Audience friendly? I think it's some shit like audience friendly fighter or something like that. So like people tuning into that shit. I mean, it's not a back and forth war, but you see a nigga getting his ass beat. So it's pretty, that could be entertaining to a point. And I'm thinking, like, okay, what I gotta do is, I gotta look up the Formella nigga and like look at some of his highlights, some of his other like past bouts to see how good he actually is. Cause this showing against Shawn Porter wasn't that great. Of course, like you're a fighter, you're a prize fighter, you're gonna continue to fight. Even like in the face of adversity, you're gonna continue to fight because that's what you're here to do. You fighting for this money, you're doing something strange for a little piece of change, my nigga. And shit it didn't really go his way at all. He landed like a few shots here and there, and one of the commentators, wait, no, was it two of them? I think it was like two of them. They were like pretty much trying to highlight everything this nigga was doing, even though he was just getting his fucking face mauled, his body and face mauled by that fucking like mini bear that Shawn Porter is. It was a very good showing by Shawn Porter, and like from this point you want to see, I think the commentators were even talking about that, like where does Shawn Porter go from here? Does he need to have a rematch with Errol Spence? I don't know. Like who's next? Because Shawn Porter's like 147. I think, yeah, he's like 147. So who would he fight next? Shawn Porter fight Danny Garcia? Hold on. Let me look that shit up. Yeah, they did fight. Who the fuck is left for this nigga to fight, bro? Bro, who is left in the division? Cause he has like a smaller frame, so you don't want him to like keep trying to go up in weight. 147 might be it for him. He could probably make it to 154. I don't think it would be too like much of a task for him to actually get to that. Pretty sure he can keep that weight and hold it like pretty easily. 160, that's where you got an issue. 154. How long ago was this fucking fight? 2018? That's what's up. But I feel like this was Shawn Porter's like only fight this year. I think this, because he had a baby during all of this, so this might have been his only fight this year, and his last fight was with fucking Errol Spence, and then Errol Spence had the injury, the accident. So I don't know if he needs to fight Errol Spence again. But I also looking back at that. Fuck is his name? What is his name? What is his name, bro? Because I know his name, I just can't think of it. How to pronounce this shit. Shawn Porter versus... What is... Ugas. I was thinking his name was more than that for some reason. It's just fucking Ugas. I was mixing his last and first name together. Dennis Ugas. Okay. This nigga fought Andre Berto. God dang, he knocked him out. Shit happened though. But it was a very good display for Shawn Porter. Where he goes from here, I'm not sure, because like who was left in the division, like I was saying already. I guess he could go for the rematch with fucking Spence. He hasn't fought Crawford, right? He didn't fight Crawford, right? I doubt it. I don't think them niggas fought. Unless he like wait for somebody else to move up and wait. But I feel like that would be a while from now. That would be like, that's like a few years removed. Like for the young guys like Haney, fucking Ryan Garcia, Teofimo. I don't know if Tank is moving up in weight like that. I don't know if Tank, because I think he was saying like he was too small for that. I don't know. I think they were saying that to go to like 147 or some shit. Or it'd be an issue or something like that. But yeah, good for Shawn Porter. He showed some pretty good movement, some excellent movement. And shit, that's all I gotta say about that. P.S. And I forgot to say this, but when I was looking this shit up with the Andre Berto and Ugas shit, I forgot to say this. So it's actually two things. Yeah. When Shawn Porter fought Ugas, what was it? Like beginning of 2019, like March 2019, I actually felt as though Ugas had won that fight. I felt as though he did enough to win that. Like he earned that victory in my eyes, but they still gave it to Porter. And then that's when Porter went on to fight fucking Spence. So I don't know if Ugas could try to go for a rematch with Shawn Porter at this point. I don't know, but I think Ugas fought in this card too. And the other thing I was gonna say was I was slightly touching on it, but I didn't even really go into it. So it's like Formella, I was thinking myself of other shit Formella could have done to like strengthen his game plan, or like to like try to execute something different to get some offense of his own off, because he was landing shots here and there. They were like ineffective. He wasn't doing much to Porter. Like Porter was countering over. So if you look at my first sparring match that I posted. It was like he was just punching over Formella, and that's what I was doing with what's bro name? I have his name in the video. I can't remember it at the moment. I was just punching over him, so I was paying attention to his hands and like what he was throwing, and if it was a jab, I count, because I was fighting southpaw, he was fighting orthodox, so I was just countering over him. I was punching over him. As soon as I saw his hand move and extend, I punched over it. And you can see it a few times where I did it, and it was very effective. Like, it was backing my opponent up, and he was doing that to Formella, and I was thinking, well, maybe Formella needs to try and throw some feints in there, pivot around, show him some movement, some angles and shit. And this nigga, what was that, the 5th or 6th round? I was thinking that, and then into the next round started. I'm like, okay. So the last round, I'm thinking, went around it. I'm like, Formella needs to try and feint. Let me see if he tries to do that at all, and let's see what happens. Formella tries to feint, and Shawn Porter doesn't bite that shit at all. And the feint was not working, so I was just looking like, wow, I don't know what the fuck he's gonna have to do to really get some offense off or win this fight at all. It was just bad, like I was saying. He was all over him. Just thinking, because he tried to throw the feint, Shawn Porter didn't bite, and then when he actually threw a punch, Porter punched over him. So it was nothing really much he could do. I'm not sure. Just watch the game tapes and try to learn from it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Thunder hurt by that hook. The vicious hook starts off that 3-punch combo. Showtime showing his ability for effective counter-punching. He's really looking damaged now. He's been beaten up throughout this fight, and he's on his last legs now. One more. He goes down again. He's just taking a beating. Take another look at that knockdown made possible by dodge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's over. Mr. Showtime came out and closed the show with an amazing display of power. You can hear the crowd going crazy after that knock.